So let's carry on the conversation from yesterday. Yesterday, I came here speaking to you about the need for communication and how we're lacking a lot of that in today's day and age, and how it's affecting our well being, our stress, our anxiety, and our depression, how it impacts that on a maximum level and stops us from moving forward into finding our transformation and stops us from moving forward into getting out of that situation that can lead you into really bad health. So let's carry on the conversation. Today, I want to speak to you about your... So since yesterday, after my live, I had a message in my inbox saying, so are you saying that in order for me to be healthy in my body, it all depends on if I am very good at communicating, not about what I eat? So let me just explain that. What you eat, yes, impacts on your health. But if you're not healthy in your mind and your spirit, your bodily health can be sometimes artificial. So sometimes you can still lack energy when you are perceived as healthy. You can still have all sorts of skin problems, hair problems, nail problems, all sorts of like thrush, rash, whatever, all sorts of symptoms that can be a depiction of the fact that you're not entirely healthy. So in order to have true health, you've got to be healthy mind, body, and spirit. So if your mind and your spirit are not settled, they're not healthy, they're not happy, that impact, it will be seen on your bodily health, on your appearance, on the way you move, on the way you conduct yourself, on the way your body moves, on the symptoms that you have and you carry every single day. So my biggest goal is to give people optimum health. And in order to have optimum health, you've got to be healthy, mind, body, and spirit. So yeah, today I am here to just carry on that conversation and say that your depression and your anxiety, your lack of true well-being is not caused by how other people treat you. So let me explain. Sometimes in life we will meet evil people who are bullies, people who are just nasty, people who will put us down and cause us to end up being depressed. But your depression is not caused by how other people treat you. It is not based by what other people do to you. It's all based on how you deduce the way that people treat you and how you deal with it, whether you actually deal with it. So say, for example, when I was a manager in Nando's at the Fort in Manchester, and I was pregnant with my eldest son, I started getting bullied for the simple fact that I used to work really hard. I could go 13 hours running up and down and never stop. I used to be on the ball, on fire, just carry on. And then when I got pregnant, every time I get pregnant, it's as if I've got a parasite in my body. It drains me of life. I literally can't eat anything, can't move. I've got no energy for anything. My hormones just go into disarray. I've always had bad hormones anyway. But I became poorly. I became really sick and I couldn't work as well as I could. So I started getting bullied. I started having staff members, people who worked underneath me, reporting back to the person above me to say that I was lagging behind, I wasn't helping, I wasn't doing my job well. And that played a massive impact on my anxiety. I started feeling really targeted. I started thinking, what have I done wrong to these people for them to turn against me and start treating me this way? It got to a point where I was bleeding at 9 weeks pregnant, and I went to hospital and they said to take time off. So I took time off. It was on a Thursday, so I took time off and I was off on the weekend. So my general manager then started gossiping about me to the staff members and saying that I was taking time off, or lying that I'd been to hospital and there wasn't really a bleed, and whatever else he was saying, which was just nasty. It was just really nasty. And that played a really big impact on my well-being at that time. I started feeling very, very lonely and very secluded and very segregated and very targeted. And the problem was, I didn't feel like I had a voice to speak up for myself and show the evidence that they couldn't treat me the way they were doing. So because of that, I stayed anxious. Because of that, I became depressed. Because of that, I couldn't help myself have a healthy pregnancy, because I was ever so worried about the way that other people were treating me. In fact, I didn't actually realize that they were treating me that way because they were uneducated, because they weren't aware of how important it is for a pregnant woman to not be stressed. And unfortunately, when I went for my 12-week scan at 13 weeks, the sonographer actually said you were carrying twins, and at about 9 weeks 3 days you lost one of the twins, which was about the time that I was bleeding due to stress from work and due to stress from the fact that I couldn't actually speak up for myself and I couldn't defend myself. And I lived like that for the first few months of my pregnancy. So no, your depression and anxiety is not caused by how other people treat you. It's all about how you deduce the situation that other people put you in and what you do about it and whether you deal with it. Yes, it's depressing. Yes, it's actually stressful when other people treat you like you are a nobody. When other people take you for granted, and when other people treat you like your life means nothing and they take advantage of the situation that you're in. Yes, it's depressing. But that depression can stop. That anxiety about what other people are bringing to your table can stop if you choose to do something about it. If you open up your mind and you open up your voice and you speak and you say, I don't deserve to be treated that way. Then you are actually taking that load off your shoulders and you are actually getting answers, and you are actually moving forward with your life and showing the people who are bullying you, who are treating you in that way, that you are not going to stand for it. Your depression and anxiety only gets worse if you never do anything about the situation that you have been put in by other people. So that's why I always speak about communication. I always speak about allowing your thoughts to be free and allowing the things that happen to you to be let out, to be expanded and to be dealt with. Because once you deal with them, you don't have to have that stress and energy and all of that stuff just circling about in your head and pulling you down. You can just let it go. You can just let it be, because you have stepped out of that. So the first thing you've got to learn is you've got to learn to deal with the situations that other people put you in order for you to not let depression and stress and anxiety follow you through your life, and you can have true health and well-being. The second thing you've got to do is you've got to learn to forgive and to move forward. I never really understood this. I never actually understood what forgiveness meant. And for years, I've always prided myself in the fact that if somebody does me wrong, I'm not going to forgive them because they don't deserve my forgiveness, especially if I've not done them wrong. But not forgiving somebody who's done something wrong to you keeps you in the state that they've done wrong to you. Say, for instance, and this might come across, this is going to be a bit hard for some people. Say, for instance, if somebody sexually abuses you, if for a long time you keep whatever they did to you within yourself and within your head, and you keep going back to that situation and you never talk about it, and you never get to a point of forgiving that person, and you never get to a point of moving forward from it and taking away the power from that controlling situation that somebody put you in, taking back that power and allowing that power to reside in you and for your life to go the way it wants. If somebody sexually abuses you and you never talk about it, and you never forgive them, you will always be stuck in that situation. It will be going around in a loop in your head, and it will always drag you down because you've never done anything about it, because you've never said, whatever they did to me, that was their fault. I am not to blame. I'm not a victim in what they did to me. I am not to blame in what they did to me. They did what they did due to lack of education, due to lack of civility, due to lack of love and care for humanity and respect for the fact that I'm a human being. That is their fault. I am going to leave the fault with them, forgive them, and allow them to carry on with their life and do whatever they're doing, but they're not going to hold me back because I am going to carry on with my life. I never really understood this until I had a bit of light work done by an energy coach. Her name is Lightworker Liv. If you look for her on Facebook, she's absolutely amazing. And she was talking to me about how not forgiving the people who have done me wrong or who have done things wrong to the people that I love is stopping me from moving forward in my life. And whilst I was going through the meditation with her, I actually got to a point where I actually had to say to myself, I wanted to forgive people like my uncle for abusing my sister when she was a little girl and she knew nothing about what was going on and disturbing the rest of her life as an adult. And I got to a point where I actually said, it's already happened. There's no amount of me holding on to what he did that is going to make it change, that is going to make it any better, that is going to change that it's already happened. The one thing that I can take away from this is that he was stupid and he didn't know what he was doing. That's his fault. It was never anybody else's fault. The more I stay in this anger, the more my vibration is going to attract people who are angry to me. And I think if you've watched any of my videos from the past, I talk about how your mind attracts the people that are in the vibe that you are in. If you live in an angry vibration, if you live in a victimized vibration, if you live in a negative mindset about anybody or anything, you are always going to attract those type of people, because your mind will be sending out sonar to all those people who are living in the same situation, and they will find you. It's like a dolphin in the sea. They will find you because they will know where you are and how to track you, because that's how the mind works. That's how it is scientifically proven. And there's a lot of people who talk about it probably a bit better than I do, but this is how I speak. And then the other thing you can do when you are struggling from depression, anxiety, and it was triggered by somebody else's actions, is you've got to let go of the question why. A lot of times when we've been put through situations that end up with us being depressed and anxious, we end up with the question why. Hi, Yolanda. Oh, hi, I didn't notice you'd logged in. Yes, Yolanda, that is so true. So we end up with the question why. Why did it happen to me? Why did they treat me that way? Why did that person bully me at school? Why did that person rape me or sexually abuse me? Why did that person take advantage of me? Why is that person racially segregating me on public transport? Why is it when I walk into a room, people shut down and people stop talking? Why am I always feeling like I am being watched by the world and nobody is? The need for closure holds us back. It's the same thing with that forgiveness thing. The minute you carry on living in the loop of why, and not actually getting any answers to your reasons, and especially if that why is stuck in your head and you're not actually communicating it with everybody else, your depression and anxiety is just going to get worse and worse and worse, because that loop is going to go around your head over and over and over and over again. So the minute that you actually stop asking yourself that why did somebody treat me the way that they did, that ended up with me feeling anxious or depressed or frustrated, and I couldn't actually speak about it. The minute you stop asking that question, you start having other opportunities in your life that can move you forward to becoming a better you, and you don't end up stuck in depression and anxiety. People are bullies. People that we meet in the world are bullies. We are so naturally, since caveman times, we have been naturally made to become, we've been naturally sort of like, we've been naturally conditioned, not made, conditioned is a better word. We've been naturally conditioned to become controlling, to become people who will always want to put other people down. This is why we live in a world that has got invisible borders, and people own countries, and people own rights to this piece of land and rights to that piece of land, and you can't get in there unless if you've got a passport. But the actual world, when you look at it on a map, there are no lines. There is no, God has not divided it into sections and said this kind of people will speak this language to stay in this place and you stay in that place. This is why when people are emigrating from a place of war zone, a bigger mass of the population actually stands up and goes, don't come into our country. You go back to where you came from. This is why we lack civility, and this is why we lack compassion for our brothers and sisters, and we don't just open our doors and say, do you know what? I see you and you're struggling and you should come here. People are bullies. People are conditioned to become controlling. So we meet throughout our lives, we meet people who bully us. We meet people who abuse us. We meet people who talk down at us. We meet people who take us for granted. We meet people who don't value our rights to be human and to be seen as human. And all of those things bring depression and anxiety. But that depression and anxiety will only stay with you if you never do anything about it. So this is what this video is all about, to teach you what to do about it, so that you never have to live in depression and anxiety ever again. And because people are controlling and they're bullies, that is no reflection. You should understand this. It is no reflection on who you are. When you love yourself, and you should love yourself truly, madly, deeply from inside, when you love yourself, you can actually wake up every single day and exude that love that you have for yourself, and your brain, your vibration, your vibe will always be telling people just how much love you've got for yourself and how much love you deserve, and people will start treating you with the amount of love that you need for yourself. The reason why I talk about health and well-being, or well-being itself and connect it to health, is you can search for health as much as you want. You can get the best pill that will give you the best health in the world. You can get the best diet or the best exercises or the best, I don't know, whatever you can think of that can make your body look as healthy as you want to, or maybe make it feel the way that you want to. But without true well-being, without true happiness in your head and in your soul, that health that you've got for your body is most of the time just placebo. In order to be truly healthy, you've got to have true well-being. You can't separate those two, because the minute you do, that's when you end up with teens who are so healthy, so healthy looking, so they've got this glowing skin, they're so happy, and they've got everything going on, or they look like they're happy, but they end up jumping off a bridge, and everybody stands there and they go, oh, so why did that person kill themselves? I thought they were happy, I thought they had everything they wanted in life. That's how we end up with very rich people who, according to the rest of us, seem like they've got everything, they've got it made, but they're so unhappy. And they so look healthy, and they look like the epitome of what we want to look like. But you can't separate body health from the mind and the spirit. You've got to acquire true well-being in order to have true health. In order for you to be energetic for every single day, to be happy every single day, to love life, to want to wake up every single day and just nail everything you want to do, and to be focused enough to produce results in every single thing that you do, you've got to have true well-being. And true well-being comes from getting rid of depression and anxiety, frustration, anger, and getting rid of the things that drag you down and make you question your ability to be able to conquer whatever you endeavor to do. I like talking, and this is day 2 of this video series, and I don't know where it's going to go and if I'm going to be talking every single day, but I like talking, and I like being able to get rid of the thoughts in my head so that other people can hear what I'm thinking, and I don't have to keep it with myself every single day, because that kind of stuff is draining. That kind of stuff is depressing. Hi Nick, I can see you've just logged on. So just understand this, your depression and anxiety is not caused by how other people treat you. Yes, it's depressing when other people treat you badly, but the minute you realize that they treat you badly because they've got a problem within themselves, then you actually realize that you can sort out the things that they've given to you, and you can walk away from them and become better and bigger than they are. My mom has always said to me, the biggest revenge on the people who have treated you badly is success. And how do you get that success? You get it by moving away from the things that they did to you. I think when I was pregnant with my last born, I joined this course called the Freedom Program here in England. I'll put a link in the bio for this video if I can find the link on Google for the Freedom Program. It's a program run for women who are abused. And the first day I joined that program, I was thinking, well, I'm not abused. I don't come from an abusive relationship, because when you hear the word abuse, you think, oh, somebody's hitting somebody's mentally abusing somebody. But then from the first day that I joined that course, I actually realized that abuse sometimes is hidden in just the way that we treat each other, not in just the way that we're civilized towards each other, not just treat each other, the civility we have towards each other. The recognition that the other person you're talking to is a human being. They've got feelings, they've got needs, they've got things that they need in their life that need to be taken into consideration before you open your mouth or before you move out or you walk out of the door. Abuse is a very big, wide range of things that happen to us. And without actually, sometimes we go through abusive situations in our every single day life and don't realize that these are abusive situations, and we don't realize that they've got an impact in the way we think about ourselves, in the way we value our presence on this earth, in the way we conduct ourselves, in the way that we pursue our goals and our passions, in the way we carry ourselves when we go to work and we pursue promotions and bigger paychecks. Sometimes we go through abusive situations in life and we don't know that they are actually abusive situations. That's because sometimes in life we normalize certain things and we make them okay to live with. I had a conversation today about why my children are homeschooled, and I was talking about how I want to keep my children at home with me for as long as possible until they're empowered enough to grow up, to realize that when they get into a conversation with people and people bring their rubbish to their table and make them feel little or want to make them feel like they're not good enough to be where they are in life or to go where they want to go in life, they can actually realize and notice that in that situation and step out of it and go, do you know what? That's your problem. That's what you view your life to be. But my life does not end on my race, on my gender, on my education. My life is not going to stop because society and you are telling me that there's something wrong about where I am going because of who I am and where I come from. So that's the empowerment I want to give my children before I send them somewhere. And the person I was talking to said, well, bullies exist in life. You should just allow your children to be in those situations. It will make them stronger. And my answer to that was, I'm not going to play Russian roulette with my children's mindset. I'm not going to play Russian roulette with whether they are going to grow up to become empowered enough to fight against the things that that have happened to them. Life doesn't have to be full of bullies. Life doesn't have to be full of struggle and strife. Life doesn't have to be difficult. We don't have to accept to be ill-treated in order to become bigger. We can just become bigger without being ill-treated, by being empowered enough to know what ill-treatment is, what being taken for granted is, to know what what happens in our everyday life that can put depression and anxiety in our minds and can stop us from moving forward in our life and can drag us down to a point where we don't have energy to wake up to face the day. So sorry if I confuse you sometimes when I talk. Sometimes when I talk, I confuse myself as well. But always understand this. There are situations that happen in life that can be depressing and can make us anxious, can make us frustrated. But those situations can only carry on if you don't do anything about it. So always be empowered, always know the triggers, always know the things that people say and do, and the way that people behave towards you and how they speak to you. And work against that, and work using this simple 3-step guide that I've given you to be able to step out of letting depression and anxiety follow you throughout life. And the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, if you already suffer with anxiety and depression, don't allow yourself to suffer through anxiety and depression every single day. And don't be fooled by the pharmacies that will give you a pill to get rid of depression and anxiety. In fact, most of those pills have got, in the leaflet, they'll tell you that the side effects to this pill can be depression and it can be anxiety. So that pill is actually causing you the problem that you're trying to get rid of. Do not allow yourself to go through life being depressed and being anxious. If you don't know what's causing you anxiety, speak about it and say, I don't know what's causing me anxiety. Come and speak to me. Send a message to this page. Come and speak to me and say, I don't know what's causing me anxiety. I don't know what's causing me depression. I don't know what's causing me frustration. All I know is I don't have energy for life. All I know is I'm struggling and I don't know what's going on. And what a good coach will do, someone like myself, will ask you the right questions to direct you to finding the trigger that's causing you the problem and to work around that trigger, get rid of it so you don't have to suffer the following day. Do not ever allow yourself to go through life being depressed and anxious, because it's not a good life for anybody. Because life on this earth is very, very limited time. You can't just flitter it away every single day thinking, well, everybody else is going through it, so I can go through it. Be the person who changes their life and becomes better and becomes bigger than the problems that they have. Anyway, I'm going to go because it's very, very late. And I'm having fun talking because I love talking. But yeah, thank you for watching this. And if you like what I've been talking about and you've got somebody in your life who needs help, send them a link to this video or share this video. I'm going to love you and leave you. Good night. See you. Bye-bye.